Hey guys, welcome to our 1 year video. I know we kind of had another plan for our 1 year video. Unfortunately, uh, it sort of took longer in the editing process than we had originally thought. And in order to actually make it the quality that we think that it deserves, we decided to take a little bit longer to sort of put it all together. I said before, quite a long game. It's taken us a while to complete, and we're still not even all the way through it. And we're recording this the day before the 1 year, so yes, certainly took us longer than we expected. So instead, even though the Let's Play in a Day is still going to be for what we planned for a 1 year kind of special, it will not be uploaded tomorrow. So instead, we're doing this video in which we're just going to kind of reflect back on the past year and talk about our favorite moments and what we hope and what we expect for the upcoming year for the channel. So, Jeremy, why don't you start?
Okay, let's start off by top 10, because that was a thing, right?
Thing.
It was a
And
thing.
hopefully there will be more things. Uh,
Hopefully, just the
yeah.
editing process for those videos alone are a pain in the dick. They're fun to make. It's just, I want to do more. It's just, oh my God. They're
And
just,
now that the ROMs are harder to get, that's also going to make it even harder.
yeah. Unless,
So,
like, I have somebody that actually has played them on their channel and I can get in contact with them and be like, hey, can I use your footage? It's literally impossible.
that being said, I think the top 10 that we did get done and get out this year was very successful.
It was pretty
I,
good.
I think it was fun. I think you did an amazing job editing it.
Thank
I
you.
think that was one of the highlight videos of our year, to be
Yeah.
quite frank.
Well, I
Um,
mean, we're
so
both really into N64 games, so it was good that when we did do a top 10, it was top 10 N64 games because that's probably one of the most like known things out there is a top 10 N64 games because they're so popular.
and like coming from just watching AGDQ, they brought up a good point where it was like N64 games were so masterfully crafted because they had to be. You couldn't just put out a patch afterwards and fix bugs. Like you had to really take your time
Yeah.
to go through, find everything, or else you would lose a lot of money. And like the things that didn't get taken out, like the bugs that are still in a lot of the N64 games, that's just part of the game now,
Which
and
makes
it adds
for
charm.
amazing speed runs.
So yeah, quite frankly, like that's probably my most like favorite system to watch speedruns for. Even though Wind Waker's still my favorite speedrun for obvious reasons.
No, Wind Waker was totally for
It,
N64. I don't know what you're talking about.
like, I'm really glad that that was our first top 10 video was for that system. So, speaking of top 10s, the next top 10 we're planning on doing soon. We've had the scripts done for a while and we've had the plan done for a while. So I guess spoiler alert, the next one we're doing is Game Boy games, and it's important to note that we're not just focusing on original Game Boy.
Original.
We're going through every type of Game Boy. So
Yep.
all the way from the very first Game Boy up until when they made DS. But we just cut it off
Yeah.
after the SP.
After the SP, and the SP
Uh,
was so good.
the SP was really. Looking back on our past year, there were three main moments where I felt like accomplished with this channel. The first one is when we finally got done Wind Waker, and I mean for real.
Yeah.
You could tell by the finale of Wind Waker, which I don't even think is up yet, so you'll
No.
be able to tell when that comes out. Like I felt good about that. Second one I felt really fulfilled about was when we completed Fire Red. And
Yeah, that was fun.
lastly, I think it's the work that we've done on the Let's Play in a Day. So the times that I felt most accomplished is when we've really focused on a series and been able to do a lot for that series. And I hope we'll be able to do that more than 3 times this upcoming year because this year's kind of important for our channel. And I've been speaking a lot, so I'll let Jeremy explain that a little bit.
Yeah, well, this is basically our last year until we go to college, so this is make it or break it. Hopefully, we're gonna get unlimited internet, so maybe do some streams for you guys in the future, hopefully, because that would be really awesome on my spare time, because I'm going to be getting a job soon in January or February,
And
somewhere
then
around there.
that's streaming is a big thing that I've missed from like basically exactly 1 year ago when we had the winter breaks. Or no, not the winter breaks. Shit, my mind is blank for a second.
Summer
We weren't
break.
even making videos today because we started tomorrow. And during the summer break, rather, uh, that's something that I missed a lot because streaming is a lot of people just look at it as just gaming classified as one thing, but I think streaming is a lot different because whereas you kind of rely on the comments to be able to talk to your audience, and with a small YouTube channel like us, we don't really get that. We can really learn from our audience on Twitch while we do it, and that's led to like many improved streams. There's been people who have popped into our chat and we've been like, "Why are we having this issue with our streams?" And they've helped us out with it. It's really we grow more on the spot, and that usually makes us feel a lot better about our content as a whole.
Yeah,
So
especially
looking
like
forward again,
contacting
hopefully.
with other people across the world, like watching our content is really
Mhm.
interesting rather than like you post it to YouTube and like there's barely a chance that you're gonna get like a comment, and if you do, you're like, oh, but then that's probably like it. Meanwhile, on Twitch, when you're streaming, you get about like probably 100 comments, like a streaming session, and it's really nice
Yeah.
just to interact while playing.
So I guess this can technically be called a podcast because
Well, yeah, that's
we're just
basically
going
what it
over.
is.
Um, a main thing that really needs to happen in this upcoming years, we need a sizable grow in viewership, and in order to do that, we sort of need to hit the right audience that will share us with their friends that they think will also, enjoy our content and share us. That's how things grow. I'm really interested in some of the ideas that Jeremy's bringing up that will add to our audience and some of the things that he's like doing for that audience. He's not just luring in the audience being like, "Yeah, watch our shit and then we'll be happy." Like he's got a plan that will help people that will hopefully help us as well.
Yeah, like
And
there's a
you've
bunch of
seen
channels out there where they're just like, "Hey, I like your
Mhm.
video," but they never even watch the video. They're just basically saying like, "I like your video. You're exactly like me. Why don't you come over to my channel and subscribe?" So they're basically luring you. Pardon me. Basically, there's going to be some things that we're going to be doing. Spoiler alerts ahead whenever we do this because we've been trying to get other channels to do it with us. But one of the things is called Gamers Unite, and basically it's about a 5 minute video, depending on like how many channels. So if it's only one like channel, it'll probably be like a good 3 to 5 minute video, just like
and
basically a review
yeah,
of their channel, how like what type of content they have on their channel, like what we like about it. Basically like a promotional video on our channel for them, and then ask them like maybe to do like a video like that for us so that way it plays in both favors. We're not just like, "Hey,
yes.
subscribe to us." We're just like, "Hey, we're going to help you out if you help us out." Cuz that's what YouTube
Instead
community is
of
all
yeah,
about.
like he summed it up, just instead of like help me, it's going to be why don't we as smaller YouTubers work together to help both of us?
Exactly.
It's, like that's what it should be about. It shouldn't be give me more viewers. It should be let's help the community grow. Let's try to help a couple people who have this as a goal or a dream or whatever it is for them. Let's try to help make this a reality. And this has been uh, quite a goal for me for a long time. I've probably mentioned it in videos before, where basically all the way back in public school I've wanted to do this, but I haven't had money to afford gear. I haven't had editing know-how, and I haven't really had friends up until about what was it, halfway through grade 10, the starting of grade 11.
I think so.
Where pretty much like I had been talking about it with James beforehand, like we should start a channel or whatever, and like not really knowing much about what's needed. And so we sort of had that plan for a while. And Jake, who I actually met before Jeremy, him and Jake had come to the conclusion that they should make a channel. Also, not having the full gear, but Jeremy had a good computer, and that's the most important gear, really. And so when I sort of met Jeremy by chance through Jake at a party, and I learned that he was interested in doing this, I sort of talked him into becoming part of the channel that James and I were planning, opposed to the one him and Jake were planning, with sort of the idea that he wouldn't be able to stick around in it for long, but I would learn from what I need and what I have to do. And unfortunately, I learned that money is what I need and have to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm really grateful that he stuck around for it. Um, I've sort of brought out his nerd side, so I'll
Sort of.
call that my cheap payment. I'm just really glad that he's been able to stick around and make this a lot more, or not even a lot more, just possible in general for me, because this is something I've personally wanted to do for a long time. I've noticed in some of the videos I'm a little bit, like still even today, I'm a little bit nervous and I have sort of an uncomfortable laugh. That's something I'm in the past couple of recording sessions I've been trying to fix a little bit, because it's been a year now. I should really start to become more comfortable with it. But the most comfortable videos that I feel I'm in are just the ones where it's me and Jeremy just goofing off on, like, hopefully you've seen our Fire Red highlight video.
Oh
Those are good
God.
moments. The problem is sometimes I focus on getting comfortable too much and I make some pretty bad jokes.
To be fair, James is right there with you, so
Yeah, but James isn't uncomfortable for him. His is how uncomfortable can it make everybody
yeah,
else?
fair enough.
So that's sort of been my experience over the past years. I've just been very grateful to be able to do it even on a small scale. Hopefully that scale will grow in this upcoming year. Uh, I've learned a lot about the people that I've been doing this channel with over the past year. Particularly, I've learned how hard of a worker Jeremy is. I've learned how not hard of a worker other people are. Uh, I would like to be a harder worker.
But
I'm
money.
unable to. Sounds like an excuse, but really, like I try to make up for it in the thought process and being engaged in everything. Unfortunately, it's not adding up to how much Jeremy's doing by any sort of margin, but I'm trying my best. So hopefully I should be getting a job like as soon as I can, realistically. My hope is that I'm going to save up some of that money and be able to get a good PC if not more, so that I can start helping out Jeremy in this upcoming year, because it's going to be a busy year to even keep this channel alive one more, because between Jeremy working, editing, doing whatever he has to do in this upcoming year before he takes off for college, he's not going to have a lot of time on his hands. So that's my hope for next year. I would assume that's something he hopes for next year as well. I will now pass it over back to you. You can explain your experience through the last year, your hope for the next year, or whatever.
Well, it's definitely been a roller coaster. I can say that. I think Brendan even remembers all the times where I used to message him on Facebook and be like, Matt, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, fuck this. I'm done. Like, I can't handle all this stress. And then Brendan would just be like, basically turn into Nick and be like, don't be a bitch. And then I got good. And so I listened and I started editing more. And then I actually started to enjoy it. Like, there would be times where I knew I'd have to watch through a whole entire video and I'd be like, no, no. And then as we were getting more experience with YouTube and making videos in general, we just got better with our content and more comfortable, less awkward, all those things. We got good at making content, and as I was editing them, I was actually enjoying them. And that's probably one of the reasons why I don't watch YouTube as much as I used to, because I would always try and find good content that I would like, but our content that we create is actually something oh God, that voice crack, is actually something I really enjoy. And yeah, so editing's not too bad. It's just a lot of work sometimes, like this Let's Play in a day. I'm just going to give you an estimate. There's probably going to be over 60 videos, I believe, probably. Each video takes me about 30 to 35 minutes to edit, and then takes an hour and 30 minutes to render out, which means getting the file size down to the right megabytes I need for it to be uploaded to YouTube. And then the hard part comes in, which is actually uploading the videos to YouTube, which can be a problem depending. Our school with their internet is actually fairly good, but at my house it will probably take the whole night just to upload one of those videos. So that's a problem.
Also, don't mean to cut you off like AGDQ here, but it needs to be mentioned. Exams are really soon, so content
Yeah.
will slow down around
Yeah,
there. It's
that's
expected.
why there's been like no content recently, because I've been editing Let's Play in a day and been doing my ISUs. Playing the new games that's been coming out. I've been playing a lot of Captain Toad. I just stopped that a couple days ago. I've been playing a lot of Omega Ruby. Been hyped for the new Zelda that's coming out, hopefully soon. Probably not soon though, at all. And
Right?
yes. What?
It's in, I said May though, right?
Yeah, fuck you. I thought so.
You.
I thought so. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, the one thing I just really want to get into again for even publicizing our channel is just Twitch. It's so fun to do, but it's really internet intensive, which kind of sucks for where we live because oof, our internet is not good.
Over a couple like really grueling, not a lot of viewer streams, we've actually built up like a fair amount of followers too.
Yeah, I think we're actually close to 100 followers with only doing like what 4 or 5 streams, I think.
Yeah, and like I know people are probably going, wait, grueling 4 or 5 streams. Our streams have been lengthy streams.
Yeah. If you don't know our streams, we've done, I don't think we've ever done a stream that's under 12 hours. We've done 2 or 3 24 hours, and the other streams I think we've went on for 14 to 16 hours.
So, something I won't be able to delve too much into is I've personally had a relatively tough year like in my home life, and some of the most exciting parts of my year is when I would get a message from Jeremy being like, "Oh my God, I've got an idea," and I really want to like commend him on that, even though like there were points where he was like, "Man, fuck this. This is not any reward for all the shit I'm doing." It really made me happy to see him actively like trying to grow the channel, and that's like it's really what I wanted to see from somebody when originally we were all planning through this, and I was like, yeah, maybe Jeremy, you should be part of this channel too, because like James is a cool guy, he's been my friend for a long time, and that's why I know he would never message me and be like, hey, guess what, I've got like this great idea to help grow this channel or whatever, because it's not on the front of his mind. Like, while we enjoy having him part of this channel, this is probably the last little bit we're going to be able to have him on this channel, because he's going away to college, like what, probably 6 months maybe, and after that point he probably will not want anything to do with this channel anymore, because he just never really cared about it that much, nor did I really expect him to. And I got really good news in the fact that Jeremy is going to take a year off, just like me, to sort of work, get some money, sort of get things together, because that gives us another year to hopefully grow. And this is something I've really wanted to do for a while. I want to keep doing it for a while. Maybe if this channel doesn't work out, like I said, I'm hopefully getting some equipment in order to do this. Maybe I'll be able to do my own thing. Um, I put a lot of eggs into this basket of a channel, and I would like to see it succeed because it feels more than a channel at this point, like a symbol of something. I don't know. I'm not a very deep thinker usually.
Data motion.
Yeah, this is not Wind Waker level emotion yet. You'll see that when it comes. But I think by the end of the year, if we have not reached a certain quota, I will certainly be very disappointed. You know, hopefully throughout school, because I'm going to have to go to school after this year too. Jeremy's going to be in college, and we're all going very, very different places, very far apart. Hopefully, we'll still be able to maybe do something with this, like in between all the work or something, record like short videos. Will not most likely be as lengthy as they are now, because we'll have a lot more going on. But you know, hopefully we'll be able to do something with this because I've really enjoyed what we've been doing so far.
Yeah. And like the problem is with like YouTube and how it works is there is a lot of people uploading at like one time, and there's a lot of YouTube channels out there, so to pick one exactly that people like is just like astonishing. Like it's crazy to think like a lot of people are like, "Oh, you only have like 40 some odd subscribers." Well, it's like, yeah, they like those specific people actually enjoy our content and are subscribed to see our content and to, you know, like know when our next upload is. And it's actually crazy
I
because I mean,
think
all those channels out there
I
to
think
pick
it
from
was
and they chose us.
I think it was Chugga Conroy who said this. I think, and he was talking about like a smaller channel, and he said something like don't feel ashamed. Like like imagine like this is public speaking. You're not standing up and like giving a speech to 100 people, but you are still giving a speech to 100 people who
Yeah.
are there to listen to you. Like that's still a big deal. I know this sounds like a line, but Jeremy can vouch for the fact that every time we get a new subscriber, like we will message each other and be like, "Hooray, new subscriber!" Like we actually get excited about it because, like, it's weird to picture when you look at like the huge channels how nonchalant they can be about it. Like not all the big channels are nonchalant about it. Don't get me wrong, but like a lot of big channels can just be like, "Yeah, yeah, whatever. Just tell them 10 million number, whatever." It's like people, each person that subscribed to us has lived their own life, like up till now, completely separate from us for the most part. And that's just a really nice feeling to know that we can reach out to even as many people as we have. And like that's a small number. And I know you're probably thinking like, well, then why do you have to end the channel if you don't get a certain number after this much? And it's because we have so much going on that we can't halt our lives to try to make this work when if it's not growing at a substantial rate as it is, it probably never will. And we will be upset if that day comes, and it probably most likely will. But it is just ultimately my hope that we'll be able to continue it in some sort of way, as I've stated throughout this thing. It
And like,
will not be as grand as it is now. Go on.
yeah, I was just gonna say like, and some things that we're doing to improve our channel, just like, oh crap, what is it? Gamers Unite, right? Um, like something like that, or like other things I've told Brennan, like I've been recently trying to catch shinies on Pokemon Omega Ruby, so I was thinking about doing like shiny giveaways on like a certain day, and all you have to do is like our channel and subscribe to try and grow our channel, and like some other things like making tournaments for Pokemon or just straight up like conversations about like Zelda and all that. If you guys want to join our Facebook, which is Quick Attack Gaming. It's always in the description if you want to check that out, because that's what I've been thinking about doing. Because my one friend Evan actually was asking me to start up a Pokemon group for tournaments and like trading and all that, and I was like, well, why don't we why don't I just use my YouTube channels, like, or our YouTube, pardon me, channel, Facebook for something like that, so people could actually like be like, oh hey, like these were hosted by these guys, go check out their channel and all that. And like maybe even in the future when we get some money, like if we have any leftover money, maybe do something like advertise on Facebook, our page and all that.
Yeah, that's going to be something that we should invest in because both me and Jeremy are going to have jobs throughout this summer. And it's
Yeah.
going to be quite hard to actually get together and record, unlike it has been. So each of our recordings are going to be, to us, worth more because we're really going to have to make the best of our time, which we've sort of learned how to do with this LP in a day thing. And when it gets down to those videos, hopefully we'll be able to put together some of our money and advertise our Facebook posts even for like 3 or 4 days. Just get as many people aware that our channel exists as we possibly can. And even if they don't like our content, just check it out. Because like it's one thing if people look at our content and just like it's not that great. We're out. Because we can improve. The thing is, we can improve as much as we want, but if people don't know it exists, what's it for?
Exactly.
And yeah, I I would just really like some like it's hard to put into words. Just something needs to happen that is beyond what we can even possibly do, and that's where viewers kind of come in, where
Yeah.
it's our job to put out the best content we can, and we can share it around as much as we want from us, but until the viewers start sharing it around, we're powerless. So it's really like YouTube channels are built up by viewers. It's not just the content creator, which sounds cheesy, I know, but it's the
It's
reality of
honestly
things.
true. That's how YouTube works.
Like again, looking at Jacksepticeye, his YouTube channel was, started small. It had pretty sizable growth pretty quickly, and it could have just stuck with that. It could have just had that growth if it was certain viewers. But he has a lot of faithful viewers that will share the shit out of his stuff in a good way, and it's gotten up his channel to be like one of like the largest, and that's amazing. And I'm not saying I expect that to happen for us, but I'm just explaining that's the reality of things. It's the viewers who make the channel. Like the creators, they're basically just in charge of letting you know they exist.
Yeah.
And from there on, you need to let everybody else know they exist. And we don't really have a lot of viewers who will do that, even like on our Twitter and on our Facebook. Not a lot of people will talk about us, they won't comment or whatever. So hopefully, this next year we will start to get some people who are really interested in our stuff. They think other people will be interested in our stuff, and that's just the sum of it. It's been a good year
It has.
for the channel. I think in terms of my happiness for this year, there hasn't been very many points where I've actually been happy besides when we're recording, and that's probably sad. People will probably look at that and be like, they're just lazy or whatever. Do they just want to try to get off on this ride of I can sit down on my couch for a living? And I guess you can look at that as lazy, but that's a matter of this is what I love doing. I love to game. I feel like talking to people is important. I feel like you can combine those two if you can turn that into a living. I never look at those people and be like, they're just fucking lazy. I look at it and go, that's cool. They got to do what they love for a living. I'm jealous of them. Sure as hell I'm jealous of them, because that's something I would love to do. But the reality is it's very hard to do that. And people don't exactly, even I, as part of this channel, don't exactly understand all the work and time that goes into editing just a single video, especially for like some of the lengthier what's the word, projects
Yep.
that we do. And like I will sometimes just find out some of the shit that Jeremy's done to edit what looks to be like a simple edit video, and I'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So even as being part of it, So you don't just look from the outside of channels, and I'm not just speaking for our channel and be like, no, they're just fucking lazy and they don't want to do any work. No, they're doing what they love, which is cool. If that means that they can like entertainment, that's a very viable source of whatever, whether that entertainment comes from YouTube, Twitch, TV, radio, it really doesn't matter. They should still be compensated for entertaining you so that they can continue to do what they've loved to do. It's not a matter of just being lazy, believe me. And believe Jeremy. More importantly, believe Jeremy. Uh, Probably something you're going to notice within this next year. It will most likely, about halfway into this year, become strictly Jeremy and I, and maybe on occasion, if we're lucky, to get in Jake. But I assume Jake's going to school. I don't know what Jake's plan is, but it will most likely just become strictly me and Jeremy about halfway through this year in this channel, which, I mean, for the most part this year, our more serious videos have been strictly me and Jeremy, with the occasional James mixed in there. And luckily, James was happy to be part of our LP in a day. That's going to be a good time. Which there will also be a highlights video for, by the way. We've basically come to that conclusion halfway through it and realized how great some of the moments are. And I don't want to give too much away, but I apologize to anybody who lives in the UK.
Yeah.
From the bottom of my heart, I apologize. This is one of those sorry not sorry moments where it's like, I'm sorry for being a dick, but it gave us a pretty good laugh. it was it was needlessly vicious, but I think it was funny enough that I don't really care that much.
Way to state it. Oh yeah, also, just to give you guys an idea of when the Let's Play in a Day is going to be uploaded, probably not for a while. I've wanted it to be, uploaded for like the time of around our anniversary, but the way things are going with like ISUs and exams around the corner, it
Yes.
probably won't be until like maybe halfway through February is what I'm thinking. Because just to like upload and render out and like do everything for one video, if I were to do that all in one day for just one video, that would take about 4 or 5 hours for one video.
Also, we sort of underestimated how long the game would take us.
Yeah.
Where we looked up on that website, can't remember the exact name, but it tells us how long it usually takes to run through a game. And we looked and we're like, yeah, we could probably meet that quota, but we kind of forgot to take into account that we're shit tier.
Yeah. And we forgot like
uh,
everything.
yeah, particularly I'm thinking of one area that Jeremy did.
Shut up.
That's okay. I haven't been doing much better in the current area we're in. And unfortunately, looking at our upcoming schedule, I'm thinking this like next weekend or possibly the weekend after that will be our last chance to record it for a while. So we're going to hopefully be able to finish it at that point, because if not, we're in trouble with the fact that exams are coming up, and like that would probably mean it won't even be up till like late February. And hopefully we can have it towards the end of January, maybe early to mid February.
Yep.
Really depends how much Jeremy has to edit out when he goes back and rewatches
Man,
it.
fuck all of you.
Maybe being dickbags at certain points wasn't the best idea.
Funny
Hopefully
as
you
fuck
guys
though.
understand. Like I said on the Facebook, hopefully you guys understand. Hopefully some of you even care that we won't be able to do it as much with as high quality as we intended if we want to get it out fast. We really like, because this is like to the core of it for our 1 year, we don't want to just poor, boring content, like some things that we've put out where it's been like, no, don't even bother cutting this out. Like, whatever, we'll just sit through the boring part. It gets hype again relatively soon. We're looking at, like, Jeremy is strictly going through, like, each episode closely and going, okay, gets boring here. Let's cut out the useless stuff until it gets important again. Because, like I said, this is for something that we care about, and we think that our channel deserves better than shit content for its 1 year. And quite frankly, we think our content deserves better than what we've been able to portray with how our channel is right now. And that's really the hope at the bottom line of the hope for this next year, is we'll be able to reflect the work that we've put in onto our channel.